Hi, this is Mahesh Ravi, and in this video, I want to show you a really quick and easy technique that you can use while using the dodge and burn tool in Photoshop. Let's take a quick look at what exactly is dodge and burn tool. So in your left toolbar, you can see the dodge and burn tool right here. In simple terms, dodge tool is used to bring up the highlights of an image, right? And burn tool is used to darken a portion of an image, right? So for example, if we want to bring the details, right, or the highlights that is in the eyes of this photograph, I can use the dodge tool and I can click here to bring out more details or highlights of this particular portion. So this is what dodge tool is doing, and you can actually change what needs to be affected. Do you want to bring out the highlights of this image, or do you want to bring the shadows up in this image? So if I do that, the darker areas will get more light while I am dodging through it. So let's try this in the lips. So if I'm setting it to shadows and I'm using the dodge tool, you can also reduce the exposure. This is basically the strength of it. So if I'm using that, you can see that from the darker areas, you can see it's getting more light. Now if you go to highlights, and if I do that in the lips, you can see the already highlighted areas of the lip is getting more light when I'm doing it. If I do it with the midtones of this particular color, it is going to get more information in here, right? So this is pretty easy to understand. Burn tool does the exact opposite of this, right? So let's try the burn tool. So we're going to go here, select the burn tool. Again, the same options are going to come here. Let's try with the shadows. So if I want to bring down the shadows in this portion, right, I can use that. Right, so the shadows are going to get more intense in here. The same thing with lips. I can do that. I can take the whole thing, right? I can make the brush size high, and I can apply this to one side of the image to make it look like, you know, the light is actually here and this is totally under darkness. So if we do it with the midtones, right, the midtones of this image is going to get burned in, right? So that is going to happen here. The same thing with highlights. If there is a lot of light which is coming here, I can do that in here. So this is how burn and dodge tool work. So once you have understood this, right, what I'm going to show you is a really neat technique which you can apply to correct the exposure of an image, right? So let's say if you have an image, a portrait image, which is slightly overexposed on certain portions of this image, and we will use this image as an example. So let's take a look at this and we'll understand that there are certain portions of this photograph where the light is directly hitting and the details of her skin is sort of gone because of that, right? What if we want to bring the exposure only on those areas down? Here is an easy way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I will duplicate the background layer. So let's go here and duplicate the layer. Let's call it reference. So this particular layer that we just duplicated, that's just for our reference on knowing the light. So to know this better, I'm just going to invert this layer. So I can Control I on my keyboard. It will just invert my image. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my levels, Control L, and I'm going to make it pure black and white. So I'm going to make it sort of like this. So, okay, maybe I can do it like that. So once I do this, now we can clearly see that where are the shadows and where are the highlights. The white areas in here are the darkest part of the image, and the darkest, the black areas in here is where the light is actually affecting, because we inverted this image for our reference. So what is we are going to do is, now with this reference image selected, we are going to go to select and click on color range. So in here we can sample a color and choose it. So I'm going to choose black, right? Click black from here. Now we can see the area which is having the most amount of light in that image. We can play around with it, right? So we can increase the fuzziness in the way that we want. I think this is perfect, right? So click OK. Now it is giving us a selection here. Now if you uncheck this, you can now clearly see the areas where the details of our skin is gone is selected, right? This is useful for us because we can now use the burn tool right on those areas, and then we will get the detail back only on those areas. So we are sort of burning the overexposed areas. I hope this was useful. I'll see you with a new video soon. Till then,